Do you get anxious when you think about eating at restaurants? Do you get excited when you think about eating at restaurants? Do you have both of these feelings? Um, has this been something that you have felt not just since you've been on a GLP-1, but going way back? It's a mix of emotions, right? Like if you're trying to lose weight, restaurants are always something that's tough to navigate because you're going into an environment that is designed for you to eat a lot of food, and it's designed even for upsells and eating not even a lot of food of what you were planning to eat, but additional food that you had no idea or no plan of eating ahead of time. So like it can be very nerve wracking, especially if you've had a focus on your food choices and have felt overwhelmed by making food choices for much of your life. Now, the good thing about the GLP-1 that you're using, that you and your doctor have decided, hey, this is like a great solution for me, is that it's going to calm a lot of stuff down in your head, right? We talk a lot about food noise and how for many people it tends to be dampened, if not completely go away. But here's the thing, you still have to be able to make choices when you go out to eat, and you're making those choices with a lot of really incomplete information. Now, a lot of the choices that you make when it comes to not just health and fitness, but your active lifestyle in general and life in general, you're dealing with incomplete information. However, when we're trying to be in a sustainable calorie deficit, the incomplete information that you get at restaurants has to do with calories. So it can be very, very nerve wracking. So like let's think about this. And you know, anytime that you try a tactic or a tip, just remember that you're learning how this is going to fit for you. I'm not a big believer of saying, but when you go to a restaurant, always do this or always order this. Um, but just be try to be clear on like what you're wanting to do here. Like if the goal is, hey, I haven't been to this restaurant in a while, I love this food, or I've never been here and this looks amazing, allow yourself to do that. Own that choice, but allow yourself to do that. The reason you want to own that choice is because like it's much more easier to navigate this stuff and feel more, it's much more easier to feel in control when you're taking ownership of the choices that you're making. When it comes to fitness and weight loss, it all comes back to choices. So you're constantly making them. You're trying to learn what you need to learn, but sometimes they're coming at you so fast with incomplete information. They're just trying to navigate things now, and you're going to learn from it later. And that's okay. Like that's what we all come through with this stuff. Now, so we'll use let's say that you know exactly, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm here to enjoy the food. If that's the case, enjoy the food. No guilt after the fact. Look at the experience for what it was. You eat so many meals in a week. This meal is not going to impact you long term. Now, is it very easy once you start eating large decadent meals and you go out to eat? You don't have to cook at home. You don't have to prep. You don't have to think. Is it easy to then get into a pattern of doing that, you know, more frequently, whatever that looks like for you? And for everybody, it's going to look different depending on what your goals are and depending on how your body responds to the choices that you make and depending on the choices that you decide to make. There's a lot of variables here. But you know, if you're going to go and enjoy the food and move on. If you want it to fit within the program that you're doing, I would not recommend ever going to the restaurant really hungry. I would eat something a couple of hours beforehand. Now, a lot of people, because again, we're looking at calories. So what do they think? I'm going to go have a large, a meal that's a lot of calories later in the day. I better bank my calories, right? I better skip a snack, skip maybe even some meals so that I've got this big surplus of calories. Here's the thing though. I like the approach of doing a little bit of both here. I'm not worried about the calories of one day if I'm going for this experience with the company I'm with, or if I'm trying this restaurant out, or if I just want to take myself out, like whatever, right? I'm not worried about the calories per se, or the fact that I'm going to be over on calories. You're going to be over on calories. You don't eat this way every day. and you're going to be over. So what I would do is I would eat whatever your normal, like if you have a normal meal, whatever your normal size meal is, I would still eat those for the day. And as a matter of fact, if let's say you do 3 meals a day, I would eat breakfast and lunch, and then probably an hour or two before, I would eat a snack, whatever it is, so that you're not going, the anticipation of this restaurant you're getting ready to eat at, it's a little bit dialed back. Okay. So in this case, if we're eating ahead of time, that's going to take the edge off of us not having to make all of these choices when we're in the restaurant and we've got everything. We've got the atmosphere, we've got the pictures on the menu, we got the people we're with ordering what they're doing, and they're like, you should try this, you should try that. We're going to try to take the edge off because you're probably going to have to deal with some of that anyway. So let's make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Now, you can look at a menu if you're like, I just want to stay on the plan I'm on. I'm hanging out with the people I'm with. Now, in this case, you may go ahead and eat your dinner or your lunch or whatever meal, like your normal food, like the normal stuff that you eat. So that way, you've already eaten the food that you would have eaten anyway. Now you're just going for the experience. Now, the thought on this is if you're going for the experience, you're not going to be as drawn to the food because you've already eaten the meals that you were going to eat. But here's the thing: those atmospheres are very powerful, right? So you might eat all your food for the day. You're like, I'm good. I'm on plan. I'm just going to go. I might have a couple bites of an appetizer. I might split an appetizer. I'm golden. You get in there, the music's going, the lights are going. You got all these people in here. You got the people that you're with or whatnot, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to participate in all this. You order like the biggest meal on the menu. Cool. You know what you do? You own it. You're like, you know what? I want this right now. Because here's the thing: if you take ownership on this, and you do not allow yourself to feel guilt later. There's no place for guilt or shame on your weight loss journey. There never has been. There's never been any place for that. You take ownership on that. This is one meal. You wake up tomorrow and you move forward. Now, because that's going to happen. But there will be times where you look at this and you're like, I eat a little bit ahead of time. I've selected something from the menu ahead of time that fits the eating plan the way that I'm wanting to eat. Or maybe you don't eat ahead of time. Maybe you're somebody that if you're doing again, with the 3 meals a day or however many meals a day that you're eating, you look at this and you're like, yeah, you know what? This is just going to be dinner. So you don't need to eat ahead of time. But you look at the menu, you decide what it is that you want, and you're confident and comfortable with your choice. That's great. At the end of this, because I can give you all the tactics. I can give you order this instead of this. This has less calories. This has more protein. This has fiber. That stuff's all over. That's all over. You can get that information anywhere. But what I really want is I want you comfortable and confident with the choices that you're making. And that's the one thing. That is one thing that if you're on a GLP-1 right now and the food noise is really, really dialed down, which is great. You've got a calmness in your mind that you probably haven't felt before around food, but you're still going to have to be able to make choices. So this is a good time to not only make the choices, but get comfortable taking ownership of the choices that you make. And most importantly, do really work to not feel guilty about them. Now, I know this is easier said than done. If you are, you guys know I talk a lot about we talk about the stuff that drives the actions and the habits. I can talk to you about actions and habits. I did primarily habit-based coaching for years in the fitness space because it became really popular about 8 or 10 years ago. So I was in that. But what's underneath those habits, what's underneath those best practices, that's what makes the difference. And what that comes down to is how confident and capable do you feel that you are making these choices, and how do you feel about yourself? Because how you view eating, exercise ties into how you view yourself if you really think about it. So the stuff underneath is what we talk about. I do think having a productive working relationship with a therapist will help you a long way. I'm a big believer. We got the gym and therapy t-shirt on right now. That's at yourlevelfitness.shop if you want to pick one of those up. But finding a therapist that you can have that type of relationship with, that you can really work through this stuff, because it's a lot, and everybody's everybody's experience with working through the emotions and feelings and their history with food, like it's a lot. So be patient with yourself. Lead with kindness and compassion and grace, because you're gonna need it. Plenty of time for you to be honest and direct, but just you can figure this out from a tactical standpoint. When you go out to eat, you can make swaps on just about anything. You can, in food prep and the items that you order, you can account for calories to some extent. There's a lot of estimates on, I mean, everything on those menus are estimates. And have you ever seen that, like where they put the calories on the side and then you look at it and you're like, there is no way that is only 400 calories. All right. Like, but you do the best you can with the information in front of you. So trust yourself. You've been on a weight loss journey probably for years, if not decades. You know way more about this stuff than what the fitness industry allows you to think that you know. You know how to do this. So that is what I have for you. Now, if you're brand new to the whole Your Level Fitness message, go to yourlevelfitness.com. That will you'll be squared away and at least know what all this stuff is about within about 5 minutes. So that gives you all the options for the self-paced resources, so you can do this stuff on your own. It shows you what the levels are with your level fitness, in case you want to end up having me a little bit more involved with it. But it's all right there. So make sure that you check that out. Yeah, so that's what I have for you. If you're watching on YouTube, they are showing you probably right now a video that they think you would like to watch. So check that out. Otherwise, again, link for Your Level Fitness. It's yourlevelfitness.com. It's in the description and the notes below. And that's what I have for you. So thank you as always for listening and watching. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow.